This is the bummiest, lonesomest place I've ever been at. I've never seen no hotel where they didn't have no trade before.
Boy, you done said a mouthful. I reckon I like to rest myself just as much as anyone, but I don't crave to grow no permanent citizenship. Clear goodness, I had to pick up solid bags all over again this morning just to exercise my muscles.
If that Mr. Hubbard and his two genuine friends don't get some boilers up here soon, they're gonna have to close down this watering hole. Then where's that put you and me?
We're right out there in the street, Jasper. That's where we'll be at, looking for another job.
That's right, Gladys. That's right.
Well, I guess I'm not caring too much. Too dead quiet around this whole street to suit me.
It's so quiet, it is long spooks. Here it is, 9 a.m. in the morning. The sun is barely raising itself outside. But in here, it's as dark and gloomy as old King Tut's tomb. This hotel lobby, it reminds me of a haunted graveyard.
Hey, if you're going to talk about graveyards, I'm going to come over there and sit by you.
Oh, honey, you can sit on my lap if you want to.
Don't you get fresh with me, boy. I'll wham you over the head with this here room.
Oh, lousy Gladiola, I'm just teasing. You're the sweetest thing I ever did smack my lips over.
Don't you soft so me, Jasper Flukes. I'll do some smacking my own self. I'll smack you down, fall on the floor.
Good morning, Jasper. Good morning, Gladiola.
Good morning, Mr. Herbert. How are you all?
Sleepy.
Good morning, boss.
Geez, it's after 9. I must have overslept. No sign of a customer, I suppose.
Oh, nearly a sign, boss. If someone doesn't show up here soon, you're going to have to pry me loose with a crowbar from this bench.
No phone calls, messages, or...
Oh, lousy. I almost forgot. This here telegram came for you this morning, but I didn't want to waste you, boss.
Well, hooray, and a couple of whoopee. It's from Julie.
Ooh, is that your best gal?
Well, she isn't anybody else's. By Jupiter, that's a shame.
That news, boss?
I'll tell us all the world. Julie and her old maid aunt are coming to town, and they're putting up at the Hotel Elms instead of here.
How come they don't stay with us, boss?
Why? I'll tell you why. Because this old maid aunt of Julie's doesn't want me to have anything to do with her. We got engaged last year at the university, and this old maid aunt whom I've never met doesn't want me to marry Julie. Says I'm just a young college student with no prospects. Jasper, I'm telling you, this place has got to start turning around so I can make a pile of money and marry that girl.
That's right, boss. It's a powerful upheaval to be in love. I know all about it, Gladiola.
It's all about how hard it feels to hit the floor if you ain't careful.
By the way, where's Tommy and Elmer? I looked in their room and it's empty. Usually they're in bed snoring this time of day.
They left here about an hour ago, but they didn't go together. That Mr. Tommy, he said he had to go to the Western Onion to deliver a telegram. And then that Mr. Elmer, well, he said he had to go for a walk. Something about not sleeping last night because he was thinking up a plan.
Now what are those two up to? They're both always trying to think up ways to get us trade. The only problem is, this town's already too full of hotels, water, and resorts. Well, good morning, Libby Ann.
It ain't a good morning. It's a bloody bad morning is what it is.
Well, now, what's the matter with you, Libby Ann?
Far be it for me to complain, Mr. Herbert, but I'm dead sick of this place.
Well, what's the trouble?
That's just it. There ain't no trouble. When I came here, I was hired to cook for boarders. But there ain't no boarders is what there ain't.
Well, quite true, Libby Ann. And me and my partners, Mr. Steen and Mr. Wilkins, are just as upset about it as you are. After all, we own this hotel.
Now, I hope I'm not being too inquisitive, but how did you and those other two young gentlemen happen to buy this old barn?
Well, just three young idiots trying to make a pile of money our last year at college. And coincidentally, I'm planning to get married.
Well, you don't say.
We saw this place advertised so cheap, we pooled our money together, paid so much down, and thought we could make a pile of money off tourists and invalids. But we've been open for 2 weeks, and not a sign of a customer if we had. I tell you, Libby-Ann, I just don't understand why we haven't had any trade.
Well, I can explain it to you, and I can explain it mighty quick. This place is haunted, and haunted proper it is. Haunted?
So the spokes, you mean, for the Lord's sake?
I don't mean anything else, and if you ask me, there's the crowd that's haunting this place.
Azariah Hodgfield?
Hodgfield, that's him.
He's the man who owned this hotel at one time. I understand he died several years ago.
Died nothing. He was murdered. In cold blood. His throat was slit and blood. Now he haunts this place with blood dripping all down him.
Oh, shut up, you two. You sound like a couple of dying old cats. Libby-Ann, I didn't know he was murdered.
Well, I suppose the people that sold you this place didn't want you to know either. Shoot, I didn't know anything about it until that cook next door. She was giving me all the gory details. Was saying how Hodgfield was this rich old man, and that he was murdered for his money. They caught the murderer and hung him, but before they strung him up, he swore as to how he never found the treasure buried here.
I reckon, Bob, I'm really sorry. I just best be perambulating homeward. My papa just ripped me up and said he needed some help doing some chicken coops.
Mr. Herbert, my married sister is powerful sick. She needs me to weigh in her bag. I'll have to resume for my job. Leave right now. Well, far be it for me to be the only one here. I may just be a cook, but my throat's good as any. I ain't paying for no spook split it for me.
Now listen to me, all three of you. Don't get excited. There's no such thing as ghosts. Certainly you know that in this day and age. And anyway, you can't leave us in the lurch now. I know this place is a bit gloomy, but think you'll feel differently when the place fills up with guests.
And how soon will that be?
Well, right away, I'm sure. I heard there may be some hidden treasure around here someplace. I don't believe it, but I believe that before old Hodgfield died, murdered then. Before old Hodgfield was murdered, he took all his money out of the bank, some $30,000, and hid it somewhere on the premises. Now, I don't believe the story, but just the same, I wrote up a piece and had it put in last night's paper. I renamed this place the Treasure Trove Tavern. It was printed last night in the Boiling Springs Dispatch. I believe that story ought to bring in some guests, if for no other reason than to hunt for buried treasure.
Well, I suppose they'll bring them in, but I bet one squint of Hodgfield's ghost is going to send them a scooping on out.
Well, you haven't actually seen anything, have you, Libby-Ann?
Well, I haven't seen nothing, but I've heard plenty. Spooky, queer music playing at 2 in the morning. Somebody singing John Brown Body, real mournful like. Frankie, there it is! Oh, glory!
I'll put a stop to it. Well, that's weird.
That was his favorite piece when he was living, and now Hodgfield playing it after he's a corpse.
Well, the only reason it started playing is because it got jarred. There must be a loose board or something here and somebody stepped on it. And the only reason it stopped is because it came to the end of the record.
Well, the short
See, it's simple when you know all the answers.
Well, it was a ghost, and that's all I have to say. It sure sounded mighty spooky to me. I felt the air right up my head. Luke.
Well, I reckon I best be heading homeward. My father, Papa, he's waiting for me to build those chicken coops out. It was mighty fine knowing you all and me. You see you later.
Jasper, get back in here.
Oh, yes,
Now, Tommy and Elmer and I are big three. Tommy and Elmer and I are three big, strong he-men. And we swear to protect all of you from any trouble. It's all in Libby Ann's imagination anyhow.
Didn't we just hear that spooky big trolley playing all by itself? Shoot, it would surprise me if Huddersfield comes bouncing in here any moment.
Oh, everybody, good Lord, what's all the yaps about? The place on fire?
Well, they took you for a spook, Tommy.
Well, hey, you big sap. Hey, slide in too late for me. I thought I left you in bed, Skippy. Nah, I went out for a stroll, breathe the pure fresh air. I hollered at you from across the road when you were so preoccupied with your own brilliant thoughts that you evidently didn't hear me.
My mind was all taken up with a wonderful plan for getting us in customers. Hey, Libby Ann, how about a little breakfast for Elmer and me?
Sure, I'll fix you guys a snack. But if you all hear me screaming, you better come running. Because it means I bumped into Hodgefield's ghost.
Oh, what in the heck did you mean by that?
Well, Libby Ann here thinks our beautiful hotel is haunted. Holy smokes!
What is it?
Well, here comes old Bates, our landlord.
Today the day we're supposed to make that $100 payment to him?
Well, you said it. Have either one of you birds got any money?
Well, I got exactly 37 cents. Can't you put them off for another week?
I got 6 pennies and a nickel.
Well, just be polite anyway. Here he comes.
Morning, Mr. Bates.
Morning, Jack. You got my money ready?
Well, dear me, is today the day that we're supposed to pay you?
I reckon you haven't forgot. It evidently slipped our minds.
Well, 100 Buckaroos is due me today, and you know that. 2 weeks from today, the remaining 600 is due. Don't forget that.
Well, not so well. Mr. Steve here, he'll pay you.
No, Mr. Wilkins here will pay you. What the heck?
I'm sorry, Mr. Bates, but we ain't got any money.
Oh, so you don't have any money. You can't pay me that $100 today. Well, according to this contract, out you go.
Now, I beg your pardon, Mr. Bates, but you interrupted Mr. Wilkins. He said that we don't have the money this morning, but we'll have it this afternoon.
Yeah, you know the contract doesn't specify what hour of the day we have to have it by. Mr. Cheap Ass. I mean, Mr. Bates. Now, why don't you come back later this afternoon? Late this afternoon.
All right, I'll be back. If you don't have it by then, out you go.
Goodbye, Mr. Bates.
I'll be back.
Sweet fellow, isn't he?
Good stall there, Herb. How in the world are we going to get $100 by this afternoon unless we start getting customers and they pay in advance?
Don't worry, little Tommy will get the customers. It'll be up to you two bozos to get them to pay in advance. You've heard me talk about my cousin Eve St. Regis before, right? The famous, world-famous classical dancer.
If we've heard you talk about your famous cousin once, we've heard you talk about your famous cousin 1,000 times.
Well, listen to me tell you about her 1,001. The beginning of the week, Eve sent me a telegraph saying she was coming through here on her way from New York to Hollywood. Well, to make a short story shorter, I sent her a night letter and got her to promise to stop over and see us for a few days.
Well, hooray! Will she put up in our hotel?
Well, naturally. Think what great publicity this is going to be.
Well, geez, I'll say.
Listen to this blurb I had put in the first edition of this morning's paper. Eve St. Regis, world-famous classical dancer, will stop over in Boiling Springs on her way to Hollywood. She will be the guest of her cousin Tommy Wilkins at the famous Hodgeville Hotel.
Well, you made a mistake there, old boy. I renamed this place the Treasure Trove Tavern.
Why in the heck did you do that?
Well, there's some story about how Hodgeville drew all his money out of the bank and hid it here on the premises before he was murdered.
Murdered?
Well, so Libby Ann tells me. She claims that the reason we haven't had any customers is because this hotel is haunted. I wrote a hot story about it and had it put in last night's paper. I think that ought to bring in some guests just to hunt for the buried treasure. I figured they ought to start pouring in here this morning.
Oh, good stuff.
That story, man.
I could see the plan myself anyways. Well,
for God's sake, spill it then.
Well, as you know, being a pre-medic, I am terribly interested in psychiatry.
Who's that?
Must be his best gal.
Well, there's a new book called The Human Minds and Its Attributes by Gustav von some German name. Anyways, he claims everyone is more or less crazy. What he really means is everyone possesses a phobia of some kind.
That's nonsense. That's absurd. I've never had a phobia.
Heck, you haven't. You're superstitious.
About what?
Well, you won't walk underneath ladders, and Tommy here has a perfect mania for stepping on all cracks he sees.
Yeah, I don't suppose you had any?
Sure I do. I won't accept $2 bills.
Well, I will. If anybody's got a $2 bill, I would just as soon accept it right now.
What's all this phobia stuff got anything to do with getting us some customers?
That's what I'm getting at. According to the author of The Human Minds and Its Attributes, all phobias are symptoms of hysteria, nervousness, and anxiety, and can be cured by suggestion.
Well, we could take 50 Levian doctors to cure all that.
Anyways, I put a hot story in the newspaper last night stating that our hotel's mineral water will cure all mental disorders such as hallucinations, sleepwalking, and COVID.
What a liar you turned out to be.
Not necessarily. Now, we can convince all of our customers that they're cured by our special mineral water. Why the heck? They'll be cured. That's suggestion. I mean, the Hotel Elm specializes in sulfur water, which they claim is good for rheumatism. And other hotels around the area specialize in soda water and iron water. Now, what I've done, combined all three of those, sulfur, soda, and iron, and I mixed it into our mineral water. That ought to cure anybody of anything.
Yeah, provided it doesn't kill them outright first.
Well, I think your idea is not good. But here's something to add to it. All these other hotels advertise a house doctor. Why don't you post as our house doctor? You've studied enough psychiatry just to get by.
I'll tell you what, I'll be the house psychiatrist. I'll psychoanalyze all our guests. I'll delve into their subconscious and drag forth their repressions.
Oh, being a doctor is easy, easy, Elmer. Even a bohemian can do it. There's just one problem. You're too young. You don't even look like a doctor.
What make you want to look like a doctor? Say, Elmer, you remember that play you was in last spring where you played the doctor and Tommy here was the leading lady?
Oh my gosh, do I remember? Tommy was a scream. He was such a pretty woman.
Well, thanks if you consider that a compliment.
Well, if you could get on that same get-up, you know, the glasses and the bow tie and the long white coat, why, you'd look just like an old sawbones.
You know what? I still got my makeup with my sweater vest and Tommy's wig and costume still in my trunk. Tommy, you think you could help me out and put it on?
Sure thing, Skippy.
Why, George, I think there's some customers coming. Meet it, you boys. Upstairs, Gladiola.
Yes, sir.
Jasper. Front.
And Santa, yes, sir.
Front and center.
Why, thank you. Nobody has carried my suitcase for me since my darling Harvey died.
Well, what can I do for you, ma'am?
I'm planning on staying here.
Well, register here, please.
Mrs. Emmeline Spooner. Nobody but my poor dear dead husband can read my nervous handwriting. What are your rates, please?
Room and bath, American Plan, $8 a day, $60 a week, but only $50 if you pay in advance.
Oh my, isn't this hotel rather high?
Nope, it's only got 2 floors. You want to stay on the first or the second?
Oh, the second floor. I am much too nervous to stay on the first floor. It is rather expensive. But I'll stay. I know my poor dear Harvey will want me to have the best. I'll stay, that is, on one condition, that Eve St. Regis the dancer is stopping here.
I'm simply dying to meet her.
Why, Miss St. Regis? Yeah, she's coming.
Oh, she isn't here yet? Oh, then I won't stay.
Well, yes, indeed, she's here. She arrived this morning.
Fine. In that case, I'll stay. Here's $50. I'll pay in advance so I won't have to bother with it at the end of the week. But remember, young man, if Miss St. Regis is not here, and your advertising in this morning's paper was just a publicity stunt, I shall certainly demand that money back, to say nothing.
Well, she's here, all right. She arrived this morning. She's in her room resting.
Grand. I can hardly wait to see what kind of clothes she wears. That was the principal reason I decided to stay at your hotel. To get a glimpse of East St. I've had another reason. I'm kind of nervous. You might have noticed.
Yeah, just a little bit.
I read in this morning's paper that your mineral waters are highly recommended for nervous disorders. Do you think they can cure my nerves?
I'm positive of it. Providing you stay long enough, our mineral water and our house doctor, Dr. Sneed, can cure you of anything. Jasper, take this lady's things and show her to number 17.
Yes, sir. Right this way, ma'am.
And what is your name, young man?
I'm Herbert Stanley, madam.
Are you married?
No, I'm single.
Oh, and I'm a widow. Think of that. I know I'm going to like it here.
Good Lord. Julie, you've made it. Darling, I'm so glad to see you.
None of that, young man.
Oh, Aunt Kitty. This is Herbert Stanley. Herbie, this is my Aunt Kitty, or rather my Aunt Dakota Cat.
Nice to meet you, Miss Kitty Cat.
Don't call me Kitty Cat. My name is Miss Dakota Cat. Julie, people wouldn't make such mistakes if only you'd stop calling me Aunt Kitty.
I'm sorry, Aunt Dakota.
So, this is the young chickie you're in love with, huh?
Yeah, isn't he nice?
No. Young man, I shall take my niece and register at some other hotel, unless you can promise me faithfully not to get fresh with her. Now, when you're financially able to marry my niece, why, that would be a different story. Until then, hands off.
Sure, I'll promise. I'll do anything to get you and Julie to spend your vacation here. But Julie, you said you were going to put up at the hotel lounge. What changed your mind?
Aunt Kitty read in the paper this morning all the numerous advantages of girls to her hotel, Herbie, so she changed our mind for us.
Yes, I read there's treasure hidden around here someplace. I've always been a fool for hidden treasure. See? I bought me a brand new Model A spade, bright as $1 and warranted to wear. And I'm going to dig up every inch of land around this building, even if it's 40 acres. Why, I heard there's $3 million buried around here in actual cold cash.
Only $30,000, I believe, Miss Katura.
Oh. Well, 30,000 is nothing to be sneezed at. Another reason I decided to stop here was because I heard this hotel originally belonged to a man who was murdered, and it's rumored he haunts these premises. I'm terribly interested in spiritualism, and I thought I could get in touch with his restless ghost. See? I brought my Ouija board right with me. Oh, Ouija, does the spirit of Azariah Hodgfield still haunt this premises? Y-E-S. Yes! Oh, goody.
Good nothing. That woman is bad crazy.
Oh, Herbie, I do hope your mineral water will cure my aunt of this Ouija board business. She's always having hallucinations and thinks she's speaking to the spirit world. It's very trying on my nerves.
Well, young man, are you going to assign us rooms or must we stand here all day?
Yes,
I'm
ma'am.
anxious to start digging.
Yes, ma'am. Just register here, please.
I'll register for both myself and my niece. We'll want an adjoining room. It's the very best you have in this hotel. Price is no object since I plan to pay for it out of the $30,000 I'm going to dig up.
All assigned you room number 20 and 21, the largest and best equipped rooms in the house. Jasper, take these ladies' luggage.
Yes, sir. Oh, doggone, is that thing alive?
Don't you drop it and break it, or you'll find out if it's alive or not.
Yes, ma'am. Right this way.
I hope you ladies will be comfortable in your rooms.
Well, I don't think I won't tell you about it if we're not. Catch!
Telegram, Pal Wilkin.
Oh, I get it. Thanks.
I'll take you tonight.
What can I do for you, sir?
Thinking if I don't want to stay here at this hotel. I reckon you want to know all about me. My name's Dakota. Bachelor and dirt farmer. Live about 7.5 miles outside of town. I'm one of the best farms in Will County. Say, I've had a couple of terrible nightmares lately. I came here wondering if the mineral waters could cheer me up.
I'm sure they can, Mr. Pottle. Register here, please.
Register? No, man. I don't sign my name to anything without reading it over.
But my dear sir, everyone's got to register so we can keep track of their luggage and their account and their hat and so forth.
Well, I reckon I'm green, but it's been 30 years since I've slept underneath the stranger's roof. You probably also got my kids along here. That's to dig up all the gold buried underneath this here hotel. I read a story once where an old fella hid all his money in rock foundation. Well, I'm going to go around and tap every stone on this place. Hope I don't undermine the property. Say, I heard there's a play at the staying here. Is that so?
You must mean Eve St. Regis the dance.
That's the filly. Read all about it in this morning's paper. You say your name is Eve? Mine's Adam. Me and the gate close, I might get acquainted with that play acting gal. If I was anchored to meet up with one of them. I do. You right sure she's here, son?
Oh, I'm positive. Miss Eve St. Regis is in her room resting. She's here for a rest here, don't you see? After a long, hard season on the pole. $60 a week, but only $50 if you pay in advance.
$50 a week? The chicken is cheaper than that.
This place is very reasonable, I assure you.
Well, I think it's highway robbery, but I guess I'll pay it. Dang, if I went to pick up my ducks and go somewhere else, it wasn't for the threat of that St. Regis gal being here.
Doggone that kitty cat woman anyhow. After I looked all that junk upstairs, guess what she gave me for a tip? Nothing. I put my hand out and she said, I ain't paying your salary. And she said you would, but she flung out that you had the money.
That will do, Jasper. Take this gentleman's luggage up and show him to room number 9.
Fine, yes, sir. Doggone, one would think you're working in a coal mine instead of putting up at a hotel.
Don't think I ain't getting sleepy. I've been staying up the past 2 nights dreaming about snakes. Garter snakes, bull snakes, rattlesnakes, boa constrictors.
Boss, that ain't nightmares. Those are delirium tremens.
Well, whatever it is, I sure hope the mineral water here can cheer me up. I reckon I'll lay down for a little while. You get to hear me yelling if you know I'm having one hellacious nightmare.
How do I look? Do you think they'll take me for a bona fide psychiatrist?
Geez, Elmer, is that you? You look grand. Well, heck, you look Barbie. You look like a popular edition of Dr. Jones himself.
Easy gas whiskers if you ask me, and I'm the one who made him up.
Gee, I can hardly wait. But I can't wait for my first patient. By the way, have we had any come through?
Well, have we? We've got 4 customers. One is an old widow. terribly nervous. Just the case for you, Elmer. The other one is an old bachelor farmer, Adam Pottle, who's troubled with terrible nightmares. The other two, my gal Julie Mathers and her old maid Ann, who's got a Ouija board complex. Now, what's better than that, gentlemen, is I've collected $100.
Fine. Great.
By the way, Tommy, we got a telegram here for you this morning. Hopefully it's from your cousin Eve St. Regis telling you what time she's going to get here today. I had to promise that bachelor farmer and that old widow that she was already here in order to get them to pay in advance.
Holy smoke, it's from Eve, all right. It says impossible to come. Stop. Have sprained ankle. Stop. Must rest in hospital 6 weeks. Stop. Sorry, Eve. Well, can you beat that? She ain't coming.
Ain't coming? Well, she's got to come. We can't afford to give that money back to those customers, and that's what we'll have to do. Boy, Tommy, you sure got us in a real pickle.
Well, you need to blame me. It ain't my fault Eve sprained her fool ankle. She probably did it doing one of those spring dances.
Well, say, you don't look anything like your cousin Eve St. Regis, do you?
Well, I have been told that there is a strong family resemblance.
That poor woman. Well, say, being there's such a strong family resemblance, why don't you dress up and impersonate your cousin Eve?
No. I won't do it. It ain't gonna happen.
You know,
Tommy has his wig and costume still in my trousers. Oh.
No, I won't do it. No way. Man.
yes, you will. You've got to. Otherwise, we're going to have to give that money back to them customers, and we just can't afford to do that.
Well, what would I do? How would I act?
Well, that's easy. Act the way you did during the play. Be haughty and upstage all the women and bam all the men.
Well, that's right. Flirt with the men, and above all, flirt with Adam Powell. He's the old bachelor who paid $50 in advance to stay here. What do you say, old boy?
All right, fine. I'll dress up as Eve and I'll flirt with men on one condition only.
Well, what's that?
That you flirt with our lady customers. You know we've always been considered quite the chic in high school, Herb, and we must keep our lady customers happy as well.
I won't do it. Julie's here. What would she think?
Well, you needn't flirt with them in front of her. Anyways, that's my ultimatum. Either you flirt with all the women, or not one dress am I gonna put on.
Come on, Herb. Now, whose place is it to be a good sport? Do your part.
Well, I suppose I'll have to do it, but I know this is going to land me in a peck of trouble. Well, here comes some more customers. Hurry up, Tommy, and jump into your shimmy.
Oh, what a beautiful pot-bellied, knock-kneed dancer I'm gonna make.
Dr. Steve, why don't you sit over here and look psychiatric and important?
Just as you say, my boys.
Doggone old cow boots himself didn't give me but 3 cents for a tip.
I'm ahead of you there, Jasper.
How's come?
That pretty young gal, the skinny old maid called Julie, done gave me a quarter just for handing her a little freestyle.
Oh, honey, you always has been lucky. I bet if you would have given her one of those bad towels, she would have given you $1.
Well, here we are, my dears. Gracious, what a wretched old gloomy place it is.
Good Lord, this place half done. Looks like that pizza rack house in town on some guy.
Yes,
There's around here for the love of peace.
sir.
No! Leave them alone! Godfrey, we're not sure we're going to stay here unless we find out this hotel's advantages are exactly what's claimed in the advertisements.
You're right, my dear. Boy, put those things down.
Yes, sir.
May I be of service, please?
Well, that's what you're here for, isn't it? Now then, young man, first thing you want to know is about this hidden treasure. Is there any money hidden around here or not?
So it is alleged, sir, so it is alleged.
Now, you're not certified? What's that supposed to mean?
No, sir, a mind reader I am not.
Now, what the hell, man? Don't be hurting me.
Godfrey, don't be so rude.
All right.
Oh, mister, is it true that Eve St. Regis, the famous dancer, is stopping here now?
Why, yes, she arrived this morning.
Oh, you say, Nancy's here. Where's she,
Godfrey, that'll do.
Yes, dear.
Mother, I wish you wouldn't yell Father's name so loud. It sounds like you are swearing.
Well, at times your father is enough to make anybody swear. Now, the reason I came to this hotel was for the mineral water you advertise so highly. I certainly did not come to hunt for any silly hidden treasure or to see any notorious dancing hussies. Now, my daughter and my son, husband,
Really, a lot more than psychiatrist.
and I want them to take their mineral water treatment. You see, my daughter has a nervous habit of chewing gum incessantly. If you don't believe it, just look at her.
Really, Mama, one would think I was a freak at a sideshow.
Dreadful, isn't it? It's a positive mania with that girl, and it must be cured. Besides that, the poor darling suffers from the most extraordinary obsession. She imagines there's a lot of movie stars in love with her.
Well, there are. See, here's Bradley Cooper, Ryan Reynolds, Chris and Liam Hemsworth, McDreamy, McSteam, and oh my God, gobs of others. They've all proposed to me time after time, over and over, again and again. They all write me the most gorgeous love letters, and every single one of them is wildly in love, absolutely crazy about me. Lordy.
She's the one that's crazy.
Honey, I think they all great. All of them.
Now, young man, do you think your mineral water can do anything for the poor child?
Well, I'm sure they will if she drinks a barrel of it.
Now, my husband here is a sleepwalker. You know, he walks in his sleep. I want him absolutely cured of that irritating habit. Between the two of them, I'm almost a nervous wreck.
Well, since you're telling the family symptoms, Mama, why not mention yours?
Well, what do you mean?
Oh my. Mama imagines she has all the diseases in the medical dictionary. She carries one right with her.
Don't be silly, Celia. I do nothing of the kind. This book, called The Family Doctor, was bequeathed to me by my grandmother. It's such a consolation to me. I wouldn't part with it for the world. Just because I have a few little things wrong with me. Arthritis, neuritis, bronchitis, laryngitis,
Holy shit, she's off again.
tonsillitis, esophagitis.
Just a moment. I want you to meet our house doctor. He'll be a great benefit to you and your family. Dr. Sneed, come over here a minute. Dr. Sneed, I want to introduce to you Mrs.
Mrs. Van Gordon. Mrs. Godfrey Van Gordon. And this is my daughter Celia and my husband, Godfrey.
How do you do, sir?
Your mouth is fine. Thanks.
Oh, doctor, do you think you can do anything to cure me and my family?
Madam, I'm sure of it. With my psychotherapy combined with our mineral water, well, I'll do wonders for all three of you.
Oh, Dr. Steve, that makes me so happy. We certainly must talk to you right away. Mustn't we, Celia?
No.
Godfrey, you registered for us at the desk while Celia and I talked to the dear doctor. Suppose we sit over here. And sit. Now, doctor, to be perfectly frank, I really am in the worst condition of our whole family. I have 19 things the matter with me. What do you advise?
Well, I would advise 19 glasses, of course.
All at once?
Mm-hmm.
Doctor!
I'll assign you room number 12 to your daughter, and the room next to it, a large double room, number 13 to you and your wife.
Now, don't give us 13. I was superstitious, man. Can't you give us another room?
Well, the room next to it, number 14, my dear sir.
Perfect. Boy, grab those suitcases.
Oh, yes, sir.
Excuse me, Herbert Wilder, how many people for lunch today?
Well, let me see, Libby Ann. 7 new guests.
Well, thank God for that. Maybe old Hodgfield will stay in his grave with so many live people parading about.
Oh!
It's him! It's him! It's at it again!
What in the name of common sense was that noise?
It's him hanging up there! It's Hodgfield! He was murdered and now he haunts this hotel!
Don't tell me a ghost puts up at this hotel.
We'll check out at once.
Now, don't get excited, folks. The noise you're hearing is just one of our guests, Mr. Adam Powell, having a nightmare. He checked in today.
You ought to check out today.
All I say is 10 in the morning is an awful funny time to have a nightmare.
Gladiola, run upstairs and wake Mr. Powell. Knock loud enough on his door to wake him up.
You mean I have to go up there all by myself? Oh my Lottie Lancy!
There's nothing to be afraid of. Jasper, why don't you go with her?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Oh, what if it's not old Calhoun having one of his fits? What if it's the spook himself?
It is Hodgfield, I tell you!
Lillian, that's enough. Get back in the kitchen. Now, Jasper and Gladiola, hurry up and get upstairs and check on Mr. Powell.
Yes.
Oh, my nerves, what is that horrible racket?
Get harm, Mrs. Spooner. That's just one of our guests having a nightmare.
Well, then he must be a lunatic.
Hell's bells, man. Is this place an insane asylum?
I'm sorry, Mr. Stanley, but my nerves are in such a state they cannot stand that racket. If that man carries on like this in the daytime, there's no telling what he'll do at nighttime.
Well, my dear Mrs. Spooner,
You'll have to give me my money back.
surely you're not leaving. I couldn't bear you to leave.
Do you really want me to stay, Mr. Stanley?
Oh, my dear lady, how could I bear you to leave?
Oh, don't tell me it was love at first sight.
Well, it was something like that.
Oh! Ha! I told you all men were flirts.
Julie!
Thank you, young man. Thank you for showing yourself to my niece in your true colors. I won't have to worry about you getting fresh with her from now on.
Celia, by all means, stay away from that flirtatious young man at the desk.
Oh, but Mama, he has such nice hair.
Gosh, I'm glad you woke me up from that nap. Snakes were just crawling all over me. Say, young squirt, where's that play-acting gal you're talking about? St. Regis woman. I want to meet her.
Yes, Herbert. Where is this Eve St. Reader's? I'm simply dying to get glimpse of her Paris clothes.
Oh, I went to meet her too.
Keep quiet, Celia. This St. Regis woman is not the type of woman I'd care to have you meet.
Well, man, why don't you answer? This gal here, isn't she?
Well, yes, she...
No, I bet your whole cake lady just told us that she was here to get our money. Boy, you better produce her right now, otherwise we're going to do a wrestling match.
No, I don't. I tell you, she... I mean, here she is. Ladies and gentlemen, let me introduce to you Miss Eve St. Regis, the Prairie Chicken Special. World famous classical dancer.
Oh, Miss Sanders, this is one of the events of my life meeting you. That is a stunning gown you're wearing. What's that?
Oh, Miss St. Regis, do you think I could ever learn to be a dancer? Although my ankles are rather weak. Here, have a stick of gum.
Adam Powell. Adam Powell. And I am Godfrey Van Gordon of Beat Van Gordon. You know how pleased I am to meet you, Miss St. Regis.
Godfrey Van Gordon, come here.
Yeah, just give me a second.
Here by my side.
All right. I'll talk to you later.
Say, your name is Eve. Yes, please, no. Oh, my name's Adam. Come here, you devil little critter.
Miss St. Regis.
Are you crazy woman?
Squeeze in right to
Well, sit down in that chair.
Yes, dear.
Celia, I don't think this hotel is quite the place for us. Certainly, the type of people one would meet here is not the type one would care to meet socially. Whatever. Godfrey, I think we better check out at once.
Now keep your shorts on. Think of all the qualities of mineral water and hidden treasure. Must take the hidden treasure.
Yes, and probably get a ghost for our pains. No, I couldn't sleep a wink at night. Haunted this hotel? Oh, my
Yes, Mama, let's go before ghost grabs us.
Now don't be superstitious, people. There's no such thing as a ghost. Lydia, for Pete's sake, are you having another one of your seizures?
Well, I say I am. I've been having them all over the place. I've seen the ghost with my own eyeballs. He had a death-like face, and his throat was split, and blood rushing all down his arm like 90.
Oh, tush, tush. Whoever heard of a throat with its throat in a ghost? Can you believe this nonsense? Whoever heard of a ghost with its throat cut? Well, how do you do, Mr. Bates? I suppose you come for your money.
Yeah, I suppose all you got for me is a poor excuse. But it ain't gonna work this time. If you don't have the money, you and them college sprouts, pack your bags and leave.
Can the cheddar, my good man. I've got your money right here. And I want your John Hancock right here on the line.
Oh, no, it's all here, every dollar. Maybe you got the remaining 600 you owe me.
Well, maybe I have and maybe I haven't. But at any rate, that contract that you're so eager to go by says I don't owe you that $600 until 2 weeks from today.
Well, okay then. But if you don't pay me, you lose this hotel and every dime you got in it.
Well, I have that money, Mr. Bates, don't you worry. Business started to pick up today.
Yeah, well, I'll be back 2 weeks on the dot.
Well, I haven't a doubt of it, Mr. Bates. Close the door gently as you leave.
You don't tell me what to do.
Well, for the love of Lil, where have you two been? Old Bates was just here after his pound of flesh.
Not so loud. I'm trying to sneak away from that medical encyclopedia of a Vanguard woman. Why, she's been reciting her aches and pains for the last 2 hours. I'll tell you what, it'll take more than psychiatry to cure that woman. It'll take a double barrel shotgun.
He turned out to be a sneak, too.
Well, where are you sneaking away from, little girlie?
Adam Pottle and Godfrey Van Gordon. Those two idiots have fallen for me hard and done nothing but quarrel over me all afternoon. I could pound the crap out of you two for getting me into a mess. I got a notion to break down and weep some girlish tears. What if I got to marry both of those two old idiots?
Well, that would be known as a double wedding. But I don't think you have to marry Van Gordon. He's already married to that encyclopedia.
Yeah, but he wants to divorce his wife. He said she's so crazy or whatever, spending all of her time with that medical encyclopedia and telling people to floss twice a day, that she doesn't have any time to understand him. Believe you me, I am one miserable woman.
Well, I'm not exactly ecstatic myself. I attempted a mild flirtation with that Spooner woman in order to keep that $50, and I'll be a son of a gun if Julie didn't catch me in the act. She'll never believe me now. I know she won't.
Well, you know, every cloud has its silver lining. At least you saved us $50. Well, we're going to have to get a lot more than that $50 before Mr. Bates throws us out. By the way, you two owe me a vote of thanks. If it wasn't for me, all our guests would have vanished this morning.
Oh, on account of seeing a ghost, I suppose. Well, I don't exactly see how you did any good at keeping him here.
Well, I scientifically explain it away. I insist that Libby Ann didn't really see a ghost at the head of those stairs, and that she hallucinated the whole thing, and it was transferred into everyone else's brains, making them think they said the exact same thing.
Now, you overestimate your scientific importance, my boy. I believe it was Miss Dakota who kept them all from leaving. She had everybody convinced that we made up that ghost just to keep them all away from that hidden treasure.
Yeah, since she said that, you couldn't scare him out of here with 50 ghosts. I say 3 cheers for Miss Katura. She saved our finances for the time being.
Well, just between the three of us, I'd like to know what they really saw. My back was turned when the thing appeared. By the time I pried Mrs. Spooner off of me, the thing was gone.
Well, I didn't get a chance to see it either. Mrs. Van Gordon and her daughter were smothering me to death. I didn't get a chance to look at it. Tommy, did you get a chance?
How could I? Adam Pottle jumped right in my lap. What did I do? That guy was scared cuckoo nuts. You know what? The more I think about it, so was I. What do you think they saw?
How many times did I have to tell you? Libby Ann had to hallucinate the whole thing, and there was no ghost.
Well, shucks, I don't believe it. I think they really all saw something.
Me too.
For crying in a bucket. You two pigs in my neck. Why, we ran up there and we didn't see a gosh darn thing.
Well, we wouldn't have seen anything if it was a real dog.
I tell you, Jasper, I'm gonna leave here. When a person sees a ghost with her own eyes,
Honey, you did fantastic. I've been trying to leave this hostelry for the last 4 hours, and one of those gentlemen keep pulling me back.
Yeah, and we're gonna keep pulling you back.
Oh, Lottie, there they are again.
Libby Ann, where are you going?
oh, that's where.
Now when we've got a house full of guests to take care of, you three have got to simply stay and keep carrying on. You didn't see a ghost, Libby Ann.
Don't you tell me what I did not see, Mr. Herbert. Just because you weren't looking the right way. I've seen the ghost with every eyeball I've got.
Why not tell them the truth, boys?
Sure, you tell them.
Folks, that was just a make-believe ghost Tommy and Elmer and I rigged up to play a little joke on the customers. They was expecting this place to be haunted when they came here, and well, we just thought we were getting their money for it.
Give me a coffin is what you did. Take 10 years off my life. I still ought to give my notice.
Don't leave us, Libby Ann. We can't do it without you.
Is that you? What are you doing rigged up in them clothes?
Oh, that's just another little joke we're playing on the customers.
And I'm Elmer, in case you didn't know.
What is this, April Fool's Day? There's an awful lot of joking around here to please me. I'm giving you a warning, but I'll stay for now.
Good.
But if I see another spook, joke or no joke, I'm out of here, bag and baggage.
And I'm following right along behind you.
Yes, sir, and I go too.
Well, we won't bring up any weird ghosts. Now, Jasper and Gladiola, why don't you help Pee Wee Herman here take his things back to the kitchen?
Yes, sir, boss. Who's got it?
Well, you certainly saved a good cook that time, Herb. Seeing we fixed up that trick ghost and everything.
Well, that doesn't exactly explain what they saw. There's something mighty peculiar going on around here with phonographs that start playing and nobody's around them. By the way, where's all our guests?
Oh, Miss Katura's out digging in the garden. She's plowed up about an acre out there. The widow Spooner is frantically searching the garage, and Adam Pottle and Godfrey Van Gordon are chipping away at the foundation. I expect this dump to topple over any minute. In order to get them two to let up on me, I told them,
The one that found the treasure will also find my affections. Well, Silly's upstairs with a master key checking all the rooms. And even Miss Van Gordon, why she's got the treasure hunting fever. But the minute she spots me, why she corners me and starts signing all her aches and pains again.
Well, what about Julie? Have you seen her?
Well, you know what, now that you say that, I heard some sobbing going on in her room before I passed by.
Well, the poor darling, if she'd only just let me explain.
Oh, here comes that Miss Van Gordon moment now. Shh.
Why, Dr. Sneed! Where did you disappear to? I was reading you my symptoms and happened to look around and you had disappeared. It gave me such a start. I thought the ghost had grabbed you. Not that there's a real ghost, of course. The idea of hotel management playing such spooky tricks on their guests. Oh, by the way, Dr. Sneed, I've discovered I have something else the matter with me. I beg your pardon?
I said, is that so?
Yes. I think I've got angina pectoris. Heart trouble.
Don't say.
Yes. I'll read you my symptoms.
Madam, you are perfectly fine, I'm sure. You do not have heart troubles.
Well, I've got something the matter with me, Dr. Sneed. I just... What are you laughing at, my good woman?
Oh, nothing, I assure you.
You'll be laughing out the other side of your face if you don't leave my husband alone. No stage hussy is gonna flirt with my Godfrey. Young woman, you leave my Godfrey alone.
Ma'am, you are insulting. I assure you I want nothing to do with your Godfrey. I have never wanted your Godfrey and I never will want your Godfrey.
a little action with it too. You know, Doctor. My Godfrey defies me.
That's the most profane woman I have ever put in my entire life.
My Godfrey absolutely does not want to leave this place. He insists that hotel management is just trying to scare us away to keep us from finding the hidden treasure. And of course, I won't leave him in the hands of that Eve St. Regis woman's clutches.
Oh, certainly not.
I wouldn't.
Oh, Dr. Sneak, now look at this skeleton. You see this? Pardon me, Mr. Stanley, but have you seen my aunt?
Yes, she's out in the garden searching for hidden treasure. But Julie, you've got your suitcases in your coat. Surely you're not leaving.
I am. Please send the bellboy to get my aunt at once.
But Julie, I couldn't bear you to leave. You've got to let me explain.
You can explain nothing.
Jasper, take Miss Madam's suitcases back upstairs.
Oh, yes, sir.
Well, do nothing of the kind. Put those suitcases down.
Oh, yes, ma'am.
Herbert Stanley, you are presumptuous. I am leaving.
Julie, I can't let you go. You've got to let me explain what you saw.
I saw enough, and I never want to speak to you again. No matter what you say, my aunt and I are leaving this hotel right now.
Julie Mather, have you lost your mind? Leaving? Why, we just came this morning.
But Aunt Kitty, I just can't stay here another minute.
Nonsense. Now, young lady, get a hold of yourself. We're staying here until I find the hidden treasure, and that's that. I've dug up 1/4 of the garden. It'll take me 3 more days to finish it. The Ouija board told me the treasure's hidden somewhere northwest of the onion patch, and I shall dig until I find it.
Well, since you insist on digging up our garden, Miss Kitty Cat,
Young man, I insist you stop calling me Miss Kitty Cat. Either call me Miss Katora or Miss Cat. Frankly, I'd rather keep your trap shut and not speak to either one of us ever again. Oh, come, dear. Let's go upstairs and I'll get in communion with the spirits and make sure the treasure's hidden in the garden.
Jasper, take Miss Mather's things back upstairs.
Oh, yes, sir. Doggone, all I do is I pick them up, I put them down. That's all I does all day long.
Oh, Herbie, darling, look what I found. Herbie, darling, indeed. Oh, you really must leave now.
Julie Mather, have you no shame? Control your feelings. Can't you see that's what this young man wants us to do? Leave here? First he gets fresh with that. Then in a jealous rage. Then he brings up some ghost to try to scare us away. He's afraid we'll find the treasure. I can read him like a book. Furthermore, we are not leaving here until I find that hidden money, even if I have to lock you in your room.
Good.
How can it be that that silly girl and her old maid aunt are jealous of little me, Herbie, darling?
Mrs. Spooner, I insist that you do not call me Herbie Darling in public.
Aren't you my Herbie, darling?
No! You see, I'm engaged to another woman.
Engaged to another woman? Then you're just at leading me on? Oh, this is terrible. Poor Harvey, my first husband, would have never treated me like this. Where's my $50? I'll leave, I'll go away.
Oh, for pity's sake, I can't give you that 50. I mean, you mustn't leave.
Oh, so you want me to stay? Well, then you must care for me more than you thought. Herbie, darling. I'll stay on one condition, that you break your engagement to this other woman.
But I simply couldn't.
Fine, where's my 50? Give me back my 50.
All right, all right. I'll do anything you say, Mrs. Spooner.
I thought you would. And don't call, Herbie, darling, and don't call me Mrs. Spooner, Ducky Lucky. Don't even call me Emmeline. Call me Puddles. That was the pet name my
cuddles.
That's a good boy. I was poking around in the garage and I found this old shovel. Now, I'm going to go out and do some digging for the treasure. And if I find it, I'll take you to Heiner's Bottom on our honeymoon.
Heiner's Bottom, honeymoon, cuddles. Good Lord.
Oh, look, doctor. Here's a new disease. It's called erythromelalgia. It says it starts in the foot. I wonder if I got it. Oh, goodness! I've got it! I've got it! See? I'm walking with a limp. Oh, doctor, I'm going right upstairs to examine my foot. I just know I've got erythromelalgia. Now, don't tell me to drink any more mineral water, doctor. I must have drunk 3 gallons since we arrived, and it hasn't done one bit of good.
Now, how in the world am I going to cure that woman? If I keep on telling her to drink our mineral water for all her aches and pains, well, she'll be waterlogged by this afternoon.
Well, Doc, you better start curing some of our customers. They're all going to think you're a quack, and they're going to leave. Why don't you start by curing Aunt Celia? She seems to be way worse off than her mother.
Well, how do you know? I think Celia's a sweet gal.
Well, yeah, she's pretty cute, all right, but that gum-chewing habit she's got will drive any man to drink. And that line she's got about all the movie stars being in love with her, make her sound like an absolute bonkers woman.
Well, how do you know? I believe Celia's not bonkers at all. In fact, I'm going to cure her of her gum chewing habit.
Well, honestly, old Sawbones, if I didn't know any better, I thought you'd have fallen for little Celia.
Oh, nothing of the kind. I just want to help this poor gal.
Well, what? Well, I advise you not to fall in love with her. She'd never fall for an old man like yourself.
Oh, these gray whiskers. I almost forgot about it.
Here comes that old pervert. We're getting him. Wait a minute. I've been looking all over the place. I haven't been able to find any treasure. I reckon you'll have to be satisfied with just my farm. Well, I thought we were all alone. Where can we go somewhere without somebody butting in?
Excuse me, folks. I'll just be leaving and you can have the lobby to yourself. Oh, Miss Van Gordon. Just the woman I wanted to see. Do you have a minute to spend some time alone?
Why, certainly, Dr. Sneak. Just as soon as I mail some letters to my many movie star admirers. I've written 12 love letters this morning. Think of that. Mail these for me, please, Mr. Stanley.
Certainly. Now, Miss Van Gordon, I'm sure you know this, but most of these movie idols you've read to already are already happily married.
Oh, of course. But I assure you, every single one of them would divorce their wives at the snap of my fingers. You want to talk to me, Dr. Sneak? Where shall we go?
Let's go out to the porch.
Very well. I want to talk to you too. About poor mother and her many complications.
Just a little tall turkey. I reckon you weren't paying any attention to us. Come sit with your Abigail. Now, honey gal, I'm falling for your hook, line, and sinker. You're different from any other gal I've known. I'm just plain cuckoo about you.
Yeah, you're cuckoo, all right.
Gal, I'd like to be a farmer's wife.
I should say I wouldn't like that at all.
Well, I could sell out and probably go into the hay grinding business or something.
I don't believe I'd like that at all.
Listen, old lady, I'll be anything you want me to be. Corn squiggle if I wouldn't.
My good man.
Oh, good. Come see your ugly mugging when...
Judging by the expression of David, I see she prefers the mustache riding, whatever the hell you're going to do.
Come on, you got it.
Can't annoy her.
Hey!
Go on, hit you.
What are you trying to do? Kill me with love? Oh, my arm's broken 3 places.
Girl, that big bruise in your big old arms.
Godfrey Van Gordon, get away from that woman!
Now listen here, don't get excited.
My feet may be on the bum, but there's nothing wrong with my fingernails. Let me at that flirting hussy.
Oh, shit, she
Now listen here. You fell and all I did was keep her from falling off the stage.
Don't you prevaricate to me, you prevaricating prevaricator! Come with me. I'll teach you to stand conveniently around where you can catch stumbling females in your arms.
Now, just be reasonable.
Shut up!
Oh, doggone, I'm glad I ain't no married man.
Julie, now where are you headed?
I'm slipping off from Aunt Kitty. Tell her I'll be at the Hotel Elms until she's ready to leave here.
Julie, you can't go. You've got to let me explain.
You can explain nothing. I saw you with that woman. I saw and heard every word you said, you parlor sheep. You're crazy about her. You're in love with her.
Oh, Julie, that woman means nothing. She's at least 40 or 50 years older than I am.
You probably have a mother complex.
I have nothing of the kind. I flirted with her a little bit, but she wanted me to.
You flirt with every woman that wants you to, you Don Juan?
Well, no, she paid me $50.
Why, you gigolo!
Julie, will you stop calling me names and let me explain? She paid me $50 in rent to stay here for a week. And she was threatening to leave, and I couldn't afford to give that money back, so I gabled her a little bit, and I did what I had to do.
Well, I think it's a despicable low thing to flirt with a woman and not mean it.
Well, that woman needs a lesson. She'd flirt with any man that looked at her twice. I'm sorry, Julie. Forgive me.
I'll forgive you on one condition. You promise never to flirt with any other woman but me for the rest of your life.
I promise, Julie. Oh, I'm so glad we made up.
Oh, Herbert.
Oh, our love does make you have a liberty.
Julie, what do you say we go out back and sit on the porch quick? Jasper?
Oh, yes, sir, boss. I know. I take some back up.
Oh, Dr. Sneed, I do hope you can cure Mama. She's driving Papa and me absolutely crazy. Why, look! She's left her medical book. I've never known her to leave it lying carelessly around before. She carries it everywhere she goes. She even sleeps with it. She must have been horribly upset about something.
Here, give it to me. The trash can is the place for this wretched book. Still, it's liable to be found. Gladiola! I say, Gladiola!
Yes, sir, I'm coming.
This book is causing your mother all her aches and pains while she reads it and looks at all the pictures until she's got every dirty image in it.
You all screaming for me, Mr. L? Dr. Sneed?
I want you to take this wastebasket, put it in the stove and burn everything in it.
Okay, yes, sir, but what about this here book?
I said burn everything.
Okay, yes, sir.
Dr. Sneed, I'm afraid Mother will be furious with you. That book has been in the family for years and years and years and...
Then it ought to be out of the family. I firmly believe that when that book is destroyed, well, your mother will feel a lot better. Now, won't you sit with me? You know I think a lot of you.
Oh, do you, Doctor? I like you also. In fact, I wish you were related to me.
Honest? How close?
Oh, a dear old uncle or something.
Oh, I haven't the slightest desire to be your old uncle.
No?
No. Now, tell me, why do you tell all those fantastic stories about those famous movie stars falling in love with you?
Well, why shouldn't I? It's true.
You know better than that?
Dr. Sweet, are you calling me a liar?
Well, I would never call a sweet, young, pretty woman like you a liar. All I'm saying is, you don't tell the truth.
Oh, Doctor, what makes me tell those awful lies? I don't mean to, really, I don't. They just pop out before I know it.
Of course they do. And do you want to know why? Why some suppressed desires hidden deep in your subconscious. Excuse me, madam. Have you ever been disappointed in love?
I've never been in love. I've never had the chance to be. I'm an only child, and mother and father never let me out of their sight.
You mean you never had a sweetheart? A boo? A beau? Why, no gentleman has ever called upon you?
Oh, yes, I've had a few gentlemen callers, but they only came around once. You see, mother always walks in and starts entertaining them with all her stupid diseases, and rightfully so, that scares them off. They probably imagine I'll be just like her when I'm older. My parents want me to stay a little girl and never grow up and marry.
And what do you want to do? What's your desire?
Well, I want to meet my Prince Charming, of course. I want to grow up and marry and have a home of my own. I'm 19 years old, and believe it or not, I've never been kissed.
What?
Well, except my mother and father, of course.
Could it be true? A woman as pretty as you? Well, I've got a big notion of kissing myself.
Oh, please don't. You're too old.
These darn whiskers? Well, I should have known.
I'm sorry. I didn't mean to hurt you. Really, I could like you a lot, if only you were younger. Your voice sounds young, and you seem young, yet you look incredibly old.
I'm not really that old.
Well, of course you're not 90, but even at that, I couldn't fall in love with a man of 45, and you're probably all of that. Though I must say, you do look well preserved.
What an idiot I've been. Why, I've been holding a secret, but I don't dare tell you now. Why, the only cure for you is to fall in love with some nice young fella.
Well, that young hotel manager, Mr. Stanley, is rather nice looking.
Don't fall in love with him? Well, I'll have you know he's been engaged to 6 women at the exact same time.
Why, what an ass.
In fact, don't fall in love or talk to any other man until I tell you my secret. But in the meantime, let's cure that gum chewing phobia of yours.
Oh, please do. My jaws fairly ache from chewing so much, but once I get started, I simply can't stop. I know it's a silly nervous habit, but I just can't seem to break myself of it.
Here, take this fresh piece of gum, stick it in with the rest of what you have, and chew it 12 times. And I'll warrant you'll never chew a piece of gum in your life.
It sounds silly, but I'll do it.
Now remember, chew it 12 times and slowly. In fact, I'll help you count.
All right.
All right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12.
Oh, I did it! But I'm dying! Oh, I'll never get over this! I'm burning up! My throat is absolutely on fire! I feel like I've swallowed a furnace going full blast and eaten a bushel of peppers! What on earth was in that gum?
Well, I only nearly soaked it several hours with quinine and hot pepper sauce.
Quinine? Hot pepper sauce? Oh, that's a mean trick that I'll never forgive you for.
Oh, Miss Van Gordon, Anyway, don't be angry with me. Just think of what I've done for you. I've cured you of that gum-chewing phobia. Now, it may make you a little sick, but...
May make me a little sick? It has already made me feel like I've crossed the English Channel on a stormy night. My throat is absolutely on fire. Believe me, Dr. Sneak, your cures are more deadly than the disease itself. I've never been so furious in my life.
What a famous, popular doctor I've become. Well, I've got a big notion. I wish I was a twin so I could kick myself.
And darling, you'll promise never to flirt with any other woman but me for the rest of your life?
So help me, I won't. If you ever see me talking to another woman, you'll know I'm a no-good, unspeakable, unimaginable, no good man, a liar. And never to be trusted. I'm so glad we made up, Julie.
Oh, you have you? So you've broken your promise to me and started getting fresh with my niece? Very well. Julie and I shall pack our things at once.
Oh, Aunt Kitty. Herbert, you'll promise never to flirt with me anymore, won't you?
I promise. But Mr. Turtle, why must you be so hard on us? I suppose it's going from up to this. I suppose it's because no man has ever loved you. No man has ever gave you his heart. No man has ever proposed to you for marriage.
Oh, is that so? You evidently think I'm just some old unwanted maiden lady?
Yeah.
You young whippersnapper. I'll have you know I can get married anytime I want to. I just really don't happen to want to. Furthermore, I'll prove it to you. I'll prove it by Ouija.
Oh, Aunt Cora, the Ouija board won't.
Shh. If there are any spirits in this room, let them tell me the truth and nothing but the truth. Let me see. I'll repeat that old nursery rhyme. Rich man, poor man, beggar man, thief. Doctor, lawyer, merchant, chief. All right, here goes. Tell me, Ouija, am I going to marry a rich man? No. A poor man? No. A beggar man? No. A thief? No. Whew. Thank goodness for that. Tell me, Ouija, am I going to marry a doctor? Yes! Oh my goodness! I'm going to marry a doctor! Oh, Ouija, spell his name out for me, quick! Oh, my heart's a-fluttering. S-E-E-D.
Steve? Well, good grief!
Why, Dr. Steve, we're going to be married. Isn't that just
These darn whiskers! Holy cat! I believe I lost something. Madam, please, here you go.
Julie, hurry, kindly take this up to my room. I must go help Dr. Steve hunt for whatever he's lost.
But, do you think you're pushing things a little? I mean, do you think Dr. Steve wants to?
Wants to marry me? What difference does it make? He'll have to marry me. The spirits have decreed it, and I would never go against their advice. Hurry, Julie. And remember, don't get fresh when my back is turned. Oh, Dr. Sneed! Dr. Sneed! Gee, what are you trying to do? Knock a body down? Just a moment, young woman. I hear you think you're quite the something around here.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Well, you'll find out what I'm talking about if you start vamping that Dr. Sneed. Dr. Sneed. I'm warning you, keep your mitts off him. He's mine.
Oh, good gosh. I'm beginning to think I'm a reincarnation of old Cleopatra herself. Listen, Herb, I'm in a peck of trouble and you gotta help me out. Those two old fools are annoying me to death.
What two old fools?
Adam and Godfrey. If one of them isn't rubbing the daylights out of me, the other one is. Now, I've been a good sport, and I flirted with them, just like you said, in order to keep them content to stay here. But I'm hanged if I marry them, even if they get upset and go to some other hotel. Now, I've thought up a plan to get them to let up on me, and you're in on it.
Well, I would be. Well, go on and spill it.
Listen, the minute we hear them two coming, I want you to start kissing me. Let it out. Let it out that I am your wife, secretly married to you, and you inform me that if I so much as look at another man, you'll sue him for $200,000 for alienation of affections. You know, all that sort of legal hooey. Pile it on good and heavy.
Well, it sounds silly. I don't want to do it.
Well, it isn't what you want to do that's going to keep these customers here. Either you do as I say, or I'll take off this dress here and now.
Well, now, get out of here! No real woman would undress in the middle of a play hall.
Listen, here come the old roosters now. Let it out. Remember, I am your wife, secretly married to you, and you will sue the man who dares mess with me. All right, make it realistic. Come on, Herbie.
All right. Oh, my darling Tootsie Wootsie. I love you so dearly. You make every other woman I've ever looked at seem as dumb as an oyster. Oh, when are you going to let me announce our secret marriage? I just can't stand it any longer. Kiss your papa and kiss him hard. Julie! Not again! Now you've done it, you big baboon. You ruined my chances with my best gal ever. Well, take that.
Hey, I'll get it right back.
Well, you want to pick me up. Well, take that.
Well, no man will kick a woman and no man will kick a lady anyway.
Why, there's Papa now!
Struck out by the thumbs, he ought to be burned at the stake. What makes me so furious is he's been flirting with me this whole time, and he's been secretly married to that woman.
Oh, yes, indeed. Herbie and I are secretly married, and he is terribly jealous of me.
She lies. We're not married. Julie's the only woman I've ever loved.
Well, if he isn't married, he ought to be. He's engaged to at least 6 women right at this minute. Dr. Sneedy told me himself.
Huh. Well, he's only engaged to 5 women now. I've broken my engagement. Here, take your ring. Give it to this lifer. Look, you're a
Dr. Steve, what's the big idea telling everybody I'm engaged to 6 women at the same time? Well, Julie here's the only woman I've ever loved.
Really, I didn't wait yet. Oh, probably Herbie and I were married 3 years ago in Ola, South Dakota. We tried keeping our marriage a secret and feared it hurt my professional reputation.
I'm gonna strangle you with my bare hands.
Don't you dare touch this woman, you brute.
Godfrey, come here.
Yes, dear.
Excuse me, Mr. Herbert, but will the same people that were here for lunch be here for dinner tonight?
Well, I would imagine so. Don't bother me now, Vivian.
Oh, my stars! My medical book is missing. Oh, this is terrible. Where could I have left it?
Beg your pardon, ma'am, but, did this book have a black back?
Yes.
And, did it have a spot lipstick?
Oh, yes.
And, what about the name, Beverly something?
Yes, that was my grandmother. Oh, thank heavens you found it.
Oh, let's check. How about 1886?
Yes, yes, yes. Oh, do tell me where it is.
Oh, it's in the fire where the cinders. The maid, that Gladiola that works here, she brought a wastebasket to me and told me how somebody ordered her to burn everything in it. And so it burns.
Bird? My medical book? This is terrible. I can't live without it. Oh, who dared order the maid to do such a thing?
Dr. Sneed did, Mama. I heard him tell the maid to destroy your medical book. He's the one that gave me that horrid piece of gum that burned my throat to a crisp. He plays awful tricks on people.
But I only did it to care about you.
Sir, how dare you destroy my book? Well, I'll scratch your eyes out. You'll do nothing of the kind. You won't hurt my doctor. We're engaged to be married, and I simply won't have him scratch them. Where's my $50? I, for one, am checking out right now. I'm not gonna be two-timed by you, you parlor sheep. And I'm checking out too. My most valuable properties are destroyed.
Yeah, Mama, we need to go. I need you to take me to see a throat specialist.
Come, Godfrey.
Now listen here, lady. I ain't going anywhere until we find that hidden treasure.
That's right. There's gold hidden down these premises, and it might be one of us that finds it.
That's what I say. Now, Elmer, dear, since we're engaged to be married, you can come help me dig in the garden.
But I didn't know.
That we're engaged to be married? Of course we are. The spirits decreed it.
Well, I may just be the cook, and I know I hold me place, but anybody, y'all best be leaving while the leaving is good. Anybody that stays here is liable to get their throat cut from the blood-curdling spook that's haunting this place.
Oh, it's after 5 o'clock now and getting closer to dusk by the minute. I'm so nervous.
No, so am I. Let's leave here right now.
Don't be silly, women. I am the most psychic person in this room. And if I can't see a ghost, you all certainly can't see a ghost.
Well, what about that ghost we seen right there this morning?
Yeah, what about that? That wasn't any ghost. Of course, I wasn't down here myself then, but...
Well, mind me, I say it was a ghost, and I'll say it till my dying day.
That'll do, Libby Ann. Of course it wasn't a real ghost. It was just all your imaginations.
Oh, shoot. I suppose that's you playing standing a mile away.
But there's nobody near it. What makes it play?
I'll put a stop to this.
That was Hodgfield's favorite piece when he was living. And now he stands there invisible, playing it after his part.
Well, I'll put a stop to this. I just can't play anymore.
That's proof there is no ghost.
Boy, I've worked for 500 rough in this foundation. Thank you. Every muscle aches like a toothache. Just straight. I tell you, Bottom, I ain't used to manual labor.
Yeah, I can see that. But I am. Say, what are you going to do with that treasure if you find it?
Well, if you insist on knowing, my good man, I plan on marrying this St. Regis and taking our extended honeymoon to Europe.
Well, what are you going to do with your current wife? Want to put my head on you or something?
I'm afraid I'm going to have difficulty with Caroline. I'll have to kick her out the door on the way past Fort Thompson or something.
Well, you know what? I ain't ready to get rid of your gal for a pretty young gal.
Now, don't you try and talk me out of it, my good man. You just want to eat well for yourself.
Dang right I do. What's the point with a hammer?
Well, if the fight finishes between us, may the best man win.
Now, hold your horses a minute, though. She's married to that, smarty, long-haired hotel clerk. What's going to do about that?
Yeah, that old ding-dong hippie does seem to have her in his power. I'll just threaten him with dire consequences. He'll just have to give the poor girl freedom. By the way, I wonder where the gal's wandered off to.
Oh, I'm pretty sure she's outside somewhere, yeah.
Well, don't you try to search no anyhow. I'm gonna go upstairs and lie down for a bit.
That's what I'm fixing to do. Lie down for a little bit.
Listen, pal. Suppose we declare a truce.
Well, what do you mean?
Well, we can take 30-minute watches here in the lobby. Keep an eye out for the girl if she comes through.
If you want to see her, you can wait the other way.
Check out, old timer? That's not a bad idea. Well, I'll put up the stool here, facing the window. Porch light is on. I should be able to see her if she comes. What do you think about that?
Yeah, gotta give you and everything. Now, if she comes through for your watches up, come with me. Give me a fair shot. I do the same for you.
Yeah, I'll wait you. Don't worry.
Very good. Don't forget.
Now, do.
Hat's on that.
Like heck, I'll forget. All's fair in love and war. It's been a mighty long day, though. I'm kind of getting pretty tired. 40 minutes is kind of a lot. Sure hope I don't start falling asleep before she shows up.
I've pounded every wall in the bedrooms on the first floor, and I can't hear any hollow sounds. That treasure's certainly not buried down here.
But Aunt Kitty, I thought you said the treasure was hidden by the onion patch.
So it did the first time, but the second time, the Ouija told me it was somewhere in the house. You know I can't depend explicitly on the Ouija board, for there are mischievous spirits about. You know, it is spirits that talk through my Ouija.
Oh, is it?
Certainly. And not all spirits are good spirits by any means. Now,
But Aunt Kitty, you're gonna lose your reason if you don't stop messing with that crazy board. Why is positive mania with you?
can I help it if I'm psychic?
Perhaps not. But I do wish we could leave this hotel. There's an evil influence that haunts this place. Just look at that old man torn picture. Why, he looks evil enough to haunt any premises. If I owned this place, the first thing I would do is take that atrocity to the attic.
Don't be scared. There are no materialized ghosts on this premises. Or me, being psychic, would have been the first to see it. That ghost they claim they all saw, and that silly phonograph playing without a record on it, merely tricks that Herbert person's playing on us.
I hope that's all it was.
Come, dear, let's go upstairs. The atmosphere will be better to get in touch with the spirits.
Julie, please.
Don't you Julie me. I hate you.
In other words, you're not a big fan. Julie, you've got to let me explain.
I will give you the chance.
You won't listen to me under any condition?
Nope.
What if I were to do something for you that you really wanted?
Can you go away and leave me alone?
No, what if I said I could cure your aunt of her Ouija board complex? Then would you consent to listen to me?
I'll think about it. Yes. If you can cure Aunt Victoria of that Ouija board nonsense, I'll agree to listen to some more of your lies. But I won't agree to believe them.
I'll cure her or I'll die trying. Well, Doc, what do you think?
Say, I spent the last half hour looking at this old foolish music box. I can't figure out how you got to play with no record on there. Sure was a clever trick.
Well, that wasn't me, you poor boob.
What? Why, you said it was.
Well, yeah, I had to, but I lied. I had to tell them all with me so they wouldn't think this hotel was haunted and all run off.
But if it wasn't you, then who was it?
These walls probably have ears. I've discovered the sound of that foolish music box, but I'm not quite ready to divulge the information. I'm convinced that we're going to have another ghostly phenomenon very shortly.
Gee whiz, you really think so?
I think so. And when the ghost comes out, who's ever the closest to it has got to make a grab for it. I think it's somebody trying to put a scare on them, but I'm not sure why. By the way, have you seen Tommy?
I haven't seen hide nor hair of him. Probably running away from those love swings of his.
Well, I hope the dumb egg has gone off and fallen in a hole. He sure caused me a load of trouble with Julie, pretending he was my wife and everything. And hey, by the way, what's gotten into you telling everybody I'm engaged to 6 women at the same time?
Gosh, I'm sorry about that. I didn't realize that she'd tell you Tell your girl about that. Well, you see, I've fallen for her, Celia.
But you've only met her this morning.
Yeah, but it was love at first sight.
Oh, Dr. Sneed!
Now, madam, please.
No, don't be frightened, Dr. Sneed. I don't want to hurt you. I want to thank you instead.
Why, what do you mean?
Oh, doctor, I've seen the error of my ways, and I want to thank you 1,000 times for destroying my medical book. Honestly, I haven't felt the pain since.
Oh, good. I'm so glad. You know, those were just but evil whispers in your subconscious within that book. By the way. Oh, thank you. How is your daughter, Miss Silly, doing?
Oh, she's fine. By the way, did you know she hasn't mentioned being in love with a movie star for hours and hours?
Oh, goody.
And she says the thought of chewing gum, the very thought of it makes her deathly seasick.
Thank goodness. I'm sorry I had to use such drastic measures on her.
She'll get over it in time, Dr. Sneed. By the way, what do I owe you?
Oh, nothing. Maybe you can do me a favor someday.
I'll be glad to anytime you ask. By the way, Dr. Sneed, would you mind coming upstairs and having a look at my husband?
Oh, what's wrong with Mr. Mangor?
He walks in his sleep.
All right, well, let's go upstairs and check him out.
Oh, thank you, Dr. Sneed. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Snakes, take him away.
Oh, now what's that?
What was all the yelling, Jasper?
Oh, lousies, I think old Carlos is having one of his delirium tremors.
Snakes.
Well, wake up, Mr. Powell.
Well, come on. Dreaming of that snakes convention. Good evening. You're here? Oh, come here, little lady. I gotta talk to you.
For the Lord's sakes, that man sure does have the delirium tremors.
Jasper, you're just the man I'm looking for.
Aw, what's I done now, boss?
Well, I want you to dress up like a ghost
Well, what's the idea, Herb?
to scare Miss Dakota.
Good God, man. Are you trying to drive her away?
No, not trying to drive her away, but if I scare her out of her Ouija board habit, I can reinstate myself with Julie. Here's my plan. I'll have you dressed up as a ghost, and when she starts calling for a spirit to appear, you jump up from behind the couch, understand?
Well, that sounds pretty reasonable.
I reckon, boss, nothing sounds good out of this whole plan. I don't want to dress up as no ghost.
Don't be an nincompoop. There is no such thing as ghost. Elmer, take Jasper back and get him dressed up as a ghost.
I don't want to be no ghost.
Come on, Jasper.
You may send the bellboy up to my room for my luggage. I am checking out. Where's my $50?
Oh, surely you're not leaving, Mrs. Spooner.
I am.
I suppose it's because you're so terribly angry with me.
Well, I'm not so pleased, and that's a fact. If poor dear Harvey knew that his unprotected widow had been 2 times he'd roll over in his grave.
But Mrs. Spooner, you see, we're not so well suited for each other. After all, you're 10 or 15 years older than me, and well, gosh, I'm so terribly poor. I could never support a woman with your charm and beauty.
Oh, Herbert.
You should marry a rich man. You really should. There's a rich man staying in this hotel. And he's just dotty about you.
About me? And he's rich? Who is it?
Well, Mr. Adam Pottle. Isn't that fine?
Adam Pottle? I thought he was in love with that notorious St. Regis creature. Oh, I beg your pardon, I mean your wife.
Well, he just pretends, she pretends to be my wife. Just so that Godfrey Van Gordon won't chase him around so hard. And of course, Adam Pottle chases after her a little bit too.
I should say he does.
But that's only because he doesn't think he stands a chance with you. You're such a city-bred woman.
Indeed I am. I have lived in Ola all my life.
And then you're so refined and pure. He's just a lonely farmer with thousands and thousands of acres of land. He didn't think he stood a chance.
Well, he does. Of course, Adam Pottle is considerably rougher looking than my poor dear Harvey, but it wouldn't take me long to polish him up. At any rate, I won't be checking out just now. I'll wait till tomorrow anyhow. Oh, what you have told me, it makes me so nervous. See how my hand shakes? I am so terribly high-strung, and love affairs just make me nervouser than ever.
Oh, I ain't no ghost, man.
Jasper, get behind the desk before she sees you.
Oh, yes, sir.
Hurry, dash some water in her face.
Probably drink the rest of this. You should all go for a walk. Well, I'm going upstairs to see Celia. I'm going to tell her everything.
Well, don't do that. You'll ruin it all.
Well, I hope so.
Between Tommy and Elmer, I'm going to be ready for the loony bin down in Yankton.
Well, you all ain't feeling loonish now, is you? Making me dress up in this graveyard stuff and all?
Here, let me adjust that sheet. Now, you get down here behind the couch. And I'm going to go find Miss Dakota. And when she asks for a spirit to materialize, you jump up and yell, "I'm an evil spirit from the dead." Understand?
I reckon so, but I tell you, nothing seems good coming out of all this. Me dressing up, and I can't see a thing under this sheet.
We don't need to see anything. Just get down behind this couch.
Whatever.
I'm off to find Miss Dakota.
Oh, Miss Van Gordon, Celia, don't be angry with me. Your mother's told me that I've cured you.
Oh, Dr. Sneed, I'm not really angry anymore. My throat doesn't burn nearly as bad as it did.
I'm terribly sorry. I didn't realize how much quinine and hot pepper sauce would soak into a piece of gum.
Don't mind, I haven't been nearly as angry as I let on to be. When that kitty cat woman announced her engagement to you, I suddenly became horribly jealous.
So you like me a little?
I'm afraid I do. Of course, you are years older than me, but I just can't seem to help it.
So you would marry me even if I'm 49?
I would marry you even if you were 106. In spite of your gray hair, you seem young. I never think of you as being old.
Well, I'm not really that old at all. I'm only 22.
Well, of course you're more than 22.
Celia, look at me. Look at me! Oh, Mel, Steve. This really isn't. This is a wig, and this is just makeup. See, it comes right off.
But why are you dressed like that?
Well, I'm part management of this hotel, and well, we lack funds, so they dress me up as a house psychiatrist. Now, don't you like me? Now that I'm so young.
Oh, Elmer, I like you better.
Oh, dear.
What in heaven's name is going on here?
Nothing at all.
You look like you've been in an earthquake. Your beard is on upside down and the back of your neck appears to be reclining on your forehead. Young man, I heard everything. I think your conduct is disgraceful. You think I'd marry a young schmuck like you? I don't want no young kids to raise. Must have been evil spirits that told me I was going to marry you. I hereby break our engagement.
Oh, why, thank you, Miss Kitty Cat. Thank you 1,000 times. Come now, Miss Celia. Let's go look at the moon.
Don't call me Miss Kitty Cat!
Bye, Kitty Cat.
Well, there you are, Miss Kitty Cat. I've been looking all over for you.
I've got a notion to have people start calling me by my middle name, which is Paula. That way this whole Miss Kitty Cat business will go away. Young man, from now on, you may address me as Miss Paula Cat.
Yeah, and with my luck, I'll screw that up and call you Miss Polecat.
I never thought of that. Fine. Continue to call me Miss Dakota Cat. I came down here to talk to my dear Ouija board about the hidden treasure. I understand this is the room Mr. Hodgfield was murdered in, so the psychical vibration should be just right.
Well, yes, why don't you sit down and try and get in contact with Mr. Hodgfield himself. Maybe a spirit will materialize, or whatever they like to call it.
All right, well, I'll try. Oh, Ouija, is the spirit of Azariah Hodgfield still in this room? Y-E-S. Yes. Is he close to me? Y-E-S. Oh my God, think of that. Azariah Hodgfield, I command you to show yourself in your last earthly appearance. Azariah Hodgfield, come forth. What in heaven's name was that?
Well, I didn't hear anything.
It sounds like snoring. You don't think the mischievous spirits are spoofing me, do you?
Wake up, you idiot.
Who called me an idiot?
Well, I didn't hear anything.
Spirit voices. I am psychic. I'll try one more time. Azariah Hodgfield, come forth. Here I am. Help! I'm an evil spirit. Why, you're nothing of the kind. Ah! Oh! Now what's the
Good Lord, Good Lord, he's walking in his sleep.
I thought they were all through screaming.
Yeah, that's right. She's spinning, but she's coming out of it now. Here, drink this.
Yeah. Julie, you gotta get me out of here. This place is haunted. I materialized the devil himself. Ah!
But Julie,
Don't Julie me. I never want to speak to you again.
confound the luck. Will you get out from under there? You look like the imbecile offspring of an ostrich.
Is that dumb ghost gone?
That was no ghost. That was Godfrey Van Gordon walking in his sleep.
Well, if you all done with this foolishness of a ghost, I'm gonna go this road myself.
Oh, Mr. Stanley, have you seen my Godfrey? He stepped out of the room just a few moments ago. And I've lost him. I think he's walking in his sleep.
He's walking in his sleep, all right. He walked right out that door just a minute ago.
Oh, you must help me find him. He'll kill himself, sure. Fell down a well. Marry a hay grinder. Oh, Godfrey! My Godfrey! Where is my Godfrey? Oh, Mother, what on earth are you swearing about? I'm not swearing. I've lost my Godfrey. Your father, he's walking in his sleep. And Mr. Stanley said he went through that door. Oh, Doctor, you must help Celia and I hunt for him. Oh, I hope nothing terrible has happened to my poopsie.
Oh my God.
Come now, Mr. Hoddle. I know you're just dying to ask me something.
But,
Now, you weren't Sir Dear Man. What were you doing sitting on the floor in front of Miss St. Regis' door?
well, I'm afraid she locked herself in there and I was waiting for her to come out. Tell me, have you ever been in love?
Oh, not more than a dozen times since my poor dear Harvey died. But I think I could fall desperately in love again if I met the right man. Tell me, Mrs. Couple, weren't you secretly in love?
I am Mrs. Spooner, and it's terrible. Worse than a double set of monks.
Well, Bertie told me the person you're in love with, and you needn't be afraid or bashful, for she'll have you. Master Adam.
Oh, I don't know, Mrs. Spooner. I'm getting pretty discouraged.
Call me Cuddles. Why beat around the bush any longer? I know you are secretly in love with me, and Adam, I'll have you.
What? Crazier than I expected.
But Adam!
Oh, the last I shook that old hedgehog. You got me wrong, sister. This is the only woman I've ever loved.
Then it's all been a hideous mistake? Where's that Herbert Stanley person? I'll fix him.
softy. I'm letting you leave me around like a Missouri show with a ring in its nose. Well, I'm going to get tough now and do some caveman stuff. Well, we're going to go elope right now.
You let go of me. I will do nothing of the kind.
Well, don't you just love me a teeny weeny bit?
I don't love you the size of a grain of mustard. I have never loved you and I never will love you. I have never loved any man ever in my life.
Well, you let me kiss you good and hard once and I'll bring you out of that little lethargy.
You just try kissing me.
Well then, prepare for a battle. Come on.
Yes, I'm a man. Thank heavens I'm a man. I didn't know she could sock you in the jaw.
My course. She's a man.
Your man fooled with me. Made a fool of me.
I didn't make a fool out of you. You were born that way.
Now you throwing things, you blithering idiot. But at least now I can explain. Julie, you see, this is no woman. This is Tommy Wilkins. He's a sophomore at the university. So, you see, when you got us together earlier, I wasn't flirting with a woman. It was just Tommy here.
I'm too amazed to even think.
Then I'll do your thinking for you. No, Herbert Stanley. She will not forgive you, and neither will I. The very thought of you bringing up spooks to scare me just makes me mad.
Well, that was Godfrey that was walking in his sleep.
Oh my gosh, what happened? Did you find your husband?
Was that you yelling just now?
Yes! I saw a ghost!
A ghost?
A ghost?
Yes! When the doctor and I and Celia went in to look for my husband, we decided to separate. Celia and Doctor went around one side of the hotel and I went around the other. Well, just as I started around, I saw a figure in white climbing through one of the bedroom windows. I ran up to it and laid my hand on its shoulder and said, "Godfrey, wake up!" It turned around and it snarled at me. I screamed at the top of my lungs, for it was a ghost. In the moonlight, you could see the blood dripping. Oh, it was horrible.
That must have been Azariah Hodgfield's ghost you saw.
I don't believe it. I think it was a burglar.
We done saw the spook.
Now, what do you folks think you saw?
We seen the ghost come through the kitchen. He stood 6 feet tall. No, sir, he was 10 feet tall.
Oh, hell no, he was 20 feet tall.
Sit down. You folks are so excited, you don't know what you saw. I think there's a burglar in this house, and I'm going to catch him. Hurry up.
Here it comes again.
Good Lord, that's Godfrey Van Gordon walking in his sleep.
What happened to me?
There's that horrible talking again.
I'm not your honey, I'm a man. I'm a man.
He is a man. Well, served you right, Godfrey Van Gordon, for always flirting with those women. I hope you're cured. You're not the dude I saw climbing through the bedroom window, and he wasn't the one you see coming through the kitchen.
It's probably somebody in cahoots with the Herbert.
Now, I suppose none of you will believe me, but I've had nothing to do with any of these ghostly phenomena you've been seeing around the hotel here today.
But you said you did it.
Well, now I know I did, but I lied. I had to. If you'd all thought this place was haunted, you'd all left. And I just couldn't afford to lose your trade.
So this horrible old
I'm gonna faint.
Don't faint until it's really goes somewhere.
I think he went down the back wall steps.
Everybody, do you hear anything?
Yeah.
Shh, everybody.
Let it go! Let it go! It'll kill you!
Oh, good Lord, it's old Bates, our landlord.
Why'd you let him catch you, you old fool?
Shut your pie face.
What do you know about this old woman?
Nothing.
Will you get over here and come clean or I'll throw you in jail with Bates here?
Oh, please, Mr. Herbert. Myself, I don't mind, but he's my husband.
Well, your husband?
Well, yeah, we bought this old barn from the town when Hodgfield was murdered. He put it out to sell the old barn, but nobody would bake. So he put it up to out-of-town folks who hadn't heard the story.
And Tommy and Elmer and I bid.
Well, you weren't the only ones. There were 3 others.
Shut your mouth, you fool!
Well, we might as well come clean, William. You might get off at the end better.
So there were other suckers besides us.
Yeah, there were 3. After every one of them got settled, William made me get a job as a cook, and then to tell the glorious story of the murdered man. Then they couldn't make any money, so they'd sell the place back for 1/3 of what they paid.
So that was William's little racket.
Hotel people couldn't make
Okay,
any money.
well, you know what? I bet part of that scheme of yours was this spooky photograph.
Well, yeah, you had another one behind the wall in the closet.
I discovered that one.
Well, hell's bells, if there's any treasure here, I suppose that's fake too.
There isn't nothing here. It's true that old Hodgfield took $30,000 from the bank before he was murdered. I worked at the bank at the time, so I know. I always thought he'd hit him in his premises. That's why I bought this old barn. Well, me and the old woman there searched everywhere we could think of, and we never found nothing.
Elmer, I think it's time that you and Tommy and I all come clean. I'm tired of all these secrets.
Well, it perfectly suits me. I'm tired of all these stinking lies.
We're nothing but a boy!
I am 22 and old enough to be in love. Come here.
Folks all trying to explain everything. Tommy and Elmer and I bought this place and thought we could make a pile of money. So we each come up with a plan to get customers. Mine was to rename this place the Treasure Trove Tavern and tell everybody about the hidden treasure.
Yes, and I read it and spent $2.95 on a brand new skate.
And Tommy here, he invited his famous cousin to stop by on her way to Hollywood.
But Eve couldn't make it, so these 2 jackwagons made me dress up and play her.
I got a hot darn notion to sock you in the jaw and me thinking I was going to get married to you, huh?
Never mind, Adam. You can still get married.
Your way. Stuck between her and albino Hugh Hefner.
Well, I do have to admit, you did cure me and my daughter.
Well, and you said you'd do me a favor. Well, you see, Celia and I are in love. would love for your consent for marriage.
Yeah, I don't think so there, Super Chief.
Oh, Godfrey. If we don't give our consent, they'll elope anyway. I can see it in their eyes. Besides, a doctor in the family is a fair trade for my medical book. Take her away, young man.
Gee, Julie, doesn't that look nice?
Looks good, pervert.
Julie, come away from that copper.
Well, I'm not a pauper yet, but I will soon be. I hope. I'm not a pauper yet, but I hope to be soon.
How will you marry? You haven't got any money.
Julie, what do you say we buy the hotel from the boys and run it as our own?
Sounds great, on one condition.
What's that?
You take down that horrid picture of Azariah Hodgeville and go bury it someplace.
Well, that's not a problem.
Well, that picture won't come down. Hodgeville nailed it to the wall. And I knew. And I wouldn't let William take it down. Because if it was nailed to the wall, Hodgeville didn't want it coming down.
Well, if my Julie says she wants it down, I'm going to take it down. Well, there's something behind it.
Why? It's $100 bill!
Well, look at that. It's a hidden treasure.
Give that to me, that's mine.
No, it ain't. We bought this hotel from you fair and square. What do you think of that, boys? $10,000 apiece.
Hope be ready.
That's what you came up with.
Let's shoot for the stars here.
Invest in the hotel and make our fortune.
I'll tell you what, babe. Let's go to Europe and go on our honeymoon.
What are you going to do in your shirt, Tommy? You don't have a babe.
I am headed to the chicken.
Elmer and Celia, let's make it a double wedding.
Oh, heck no. Let's make it a triple wedding. Everybody's crazy. Might as well be crazy too.
And the only reason it stopped is because it came to the end of the record.
Well, the short
See, it's simple when you know all the answers.
Well, it was a ghost, and that's all I have to say. It's not in my
Now, Tommy and Elmer and I are big, three-strong, big three. Good Lord, it's got...
No. You've been playing fast and loose.
Oh, I think I'm gonna faint.
Don't faint! Tell us where the ghost went!
Your way. Stuck between her and albino Hugh Hefner.